Alright. So, I'm Nelsonator. This is As the Engineer Intends. Um, As the Engineer Intends is a stream where I take the manual and I don't use it. This nice picture on the back, this picture on the front, the pictures on the side of the box, and yeah, that's essentially it. This is what I get. Yeah, gonna use that, and maybe a picture of the frame found on Dalong, and I'm gonna build the Master Grade Gunner Zaku Warrior Lunamaria Hot Custom. So, the first thing that's gonna make this maybe a little bit easier, maybe a little bit harder, I'm not entirely sure myself, is the lack of... Server mute, server unmute. Alright, he's muted because he wants to be. Alright, Shin Arster might wander in at some point. What's the word I'm looking for here? Since there are no polycaps with this kit, it'll be a little bit easier, hopefully, fingers crossed, to figure out how the frame all goes together. So, starting with the frame seems like a presumably good idea for this endeavor. A lot of it is on the B runner here, some of it is on the D runner. Notably, what I can tell are the hip joints. We've got the hands. I don't have any idea what this is going to be for, and I have no idea what that's going to be for, so that might be a problem. Two more D joints. These are obviously frame parts that are going to go into the legs and the arms and such. Then E here is a couple extra parts, like here's the chest. I don't know what this part is. We got some parts from underneath the foot. We got the shield. We got the heat hawk. We have other parts that are duplicated between the two. And then the J runner at the back there is the big old gun. I am a fan of starting easy and going harder with it. So this here seems to be part of the big backpack gun thing, and some of these red parts seem to go with it as well. So I'm going to start by taking out a lot of the gun pieces here, and we'll see what happens when we go from there. It's desperation time, boys. Yeah, you sure bet it is. Jason would normally be streaming at this time, but he is taking one of his rabbits, Evie, to the vet. So, I was intending to do this like Thursday or Friday and just kind of start a rolling series that just kind of goes on forever. And yeah, it's starting on Wednesday instead because Jason's got something else he needs to take care of. So, thank you to anybody who comes out. Hello, Breaking Basha. Hello, Shin Arster hanging out in the voice chat. Eventually, he might unmute himself and then I can say hello for real. But in the short term, this is kind of what we got to go off of. So, one of the things I can easily tell just by looking at this runner, I really need to install some sort of software where I can control the zoom on this guy, but these two parts here in the center of the gun frame here are the fold-out cannon, are the fold-out on the end of it. These two parts on the top here are the big, long part on the gun. These two parts here are the sort of end of it that go way back at the back here. This is part of the giant tank that goes in the back. So is this. This little red bit here goes around the top of it. There's a white piece that's going to top that. And this is also part of the gun, but I'm not entirely sure where exactly that's going to fit in. This seems to be a handle of some sort. Yeah, because the trigger finger is right here. I'm not entirely sure where this hinge goes, but I'm going to cut out every single part on this runner, and we're going to go from there. We'll see how this works. It requires me to push to talk, can't unmute. That's strange, because I should have the ability to... Right, that's a mod or an admin privilege. I forget. If I elevate him to admin status, he'll be able to do what I want. But then I'll have to undo that shortly. Well, let's see what happens if I do that. I have elevated your privileges such that you should be able to circumvent the push to talk status, Shin. So let's
Can you hear
see.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello, how's it going?
Good. Sorry, it took a long time to get it out.
Yeah, I remember talking to you during some of that time, and the thing that was really sort of hanging it up was a 30-minute missions kit, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, it's here, and now I can begin this arduous process that I have decided to take on. So, are you aware of the joke I've made for "as the engineer intends"?
No.
Well, so at some point, Jason said he was going to build everything straight out of the manual and ignore our suggestions for changing it because that's not how the engineers intended to be built. Well, the good news is that I have a master's degree in engineering. The bad news
Nice.
is any way I build the kit is as the engineer intends. Therefore, this manual, I'm never opening it. I'm going to build it without looking at the manual.
Nice.
So, yeah, this is going to be a little bit interesting. I've done this with two high grades previously, the Blue Destiny Unit 3 and the high grade Calamity Gundam. And the high grade
Nice.
Calamity Gundam was much more difficult because the seed polycap runner that was included with it, it ended up using all of the polycaps, and many of them are different shapes and sizes, which makes it very difficult to figure out where exactly they go, and a little bit of trial and error to kind of put them in place, take them out, put them back, all that.
Nice.
So far, we have a 100% kit completion rate, so it's finally time to challenge myself with a kit I have never built, and in a scale that I do not build that much of. This will be the third master grade kit that I have built in all of my time building gunpla models. So
Nice. Nice.
it's very exciting
And
for me.
it's a good kit too.
Yeah, I I'm predisposed to liking it because I like the original design. Here, this is the high grade Lunamaria
Oh.
Zak. I have Zaku Warrior. Man, it really does not want to focus on me. I wonder if my lighting is something to kind of change that. Yep. It's really focused on my beard and not focused on anything else close to it, so clearly I have to hold it up right to my beard and that'll make it sort of in focus. But uh was looking to do a build custom thing in the past for and I swapped the backpack out, but I have built two of the high grade kits. One of them is the high grade version of this kit, and the other is the live concert version from probably one of the best scenes in Gundam Seed Destiny, where it just descends from the heavens to have a concert. Yep. So how are things going for you?
Yeah, it's going. No complaint.
Yeah,
How you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty all right. How's it going, McGumpla?
Yeah, McGumpla.
Hey Shen, it's going good, Nelson. I'm painting some G Gundam pilots.
Yeah, you showed me your shelf of G Gundam stuff on Twitter today. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get the shining.
All right. Which grade and scale? Like master grade or?
High grade. I have the master grade in
Interesting.
ESD.
Okay. Then I want to prop this up a little bit so I can see, yeah, my work area a little bit better. That's what I gotta do. All right. Um. Yeah, I
McGump.
have not built the high grade Shining Gundam, but I've built the Build Divers version, the high grade Shining Break, which has many, 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 many extra parts.
Extra part is always good.
Yeah. I am.
Like almost enough to build another shining Gundam.
You say that. I am taking part in the R Gundam build custom group build, and I am using many of those spare parts to make a Gundam out of.
Oh, is that why
brilliant.
people? Is that why people build customs for the group build?
Yes, the intention of that is, hey, build a build fighter suit or like whatever original thing you come up with is legal for this. So, the entire point of the build custom group build is for like a build fighters-esque type thing. Breaking Basha says he loves the strip of basic Windows XP background on the site. Yep, that was my intention of putting it in the background there. I made a video for when we announced the Contest Gunpla 3, where I bait and switched what my prize would be for international viewers, and the background for that was the Windows XP background there. So I'm getting more use out of it because OBS does not want to kind of scale things properly, and I'm scared of changing it because of other projects I have going on in the background. But my conclusion I'm coming to as I'm continuing to build this is that I'm going to have to just live with resizing that window all the time and causing chaos for all of my ongoing projects. So that's life.
Oof.
Oof. Oof indeed. So, it's not often that we get to see you here in the voice chat, Shin, so might as well do a little bit of interview. How about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I love gunpla.
Alright. It's a good sentence summary. So, what was your inspiration for creating JoJoHobbyandStuff.com?
So it's kind of interesting. So I have a full-time job, as most of you know, and I was trying to get an extra income, basically. But then my job requirement does not allow me to have a second job. It allowed me to have a side business, but not like a second job. So I can't work in two different places at the same time.
Okay.
So I tried to find something that I like and I know kind of in the background. So it comes back to me that, well, I love gunpla, so that's how I start.
Okay. So that led you to starting Gunpla, and then for the second business, because you can't have the second business. So not being able to have the second business as part of your job requirements, is that why?
Second job.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused. I'm trying to not cut myself with a knife while conducting this interview without any prepared questions. I'm sorry. I wish I could be doing a little bit better. So due to the special conditions of the second job sort of ties into
Actually,
JoJo
the
Hobby
first
and
job.
stuff. Yeah, well, it ties into how JoJo Hobby and stuff is run, right? Because I
No,
remember.
it's the other way around.
Oh,
So
okay.
JoJo is actually my side gig,
Right.
and then my full-time job does not allow me to get a second job because of the restriction that I have over there. That's why the only way possible is for me to open up a side business that I know, which is gunpla.
Oh, to be self-employed per se. Okay, I understand.
Yep.
All right, now I sort of understand it a little bit better. I'm sorry. I'm not
No worries.
accustomed to I don't know all that much about going into business for yourself, so I need some clarification. Thank you for helping me out with that. So, please remind me again when you started JoJo Hobby and stuff. I've not been with Jason's server since its inception, so I do not know when the partnership between you and him began, but it was in place when I joined back in 2018, I think. So, what led you to Jason and to form the partnership, I'm going to say, between Bad Gunpla and JoJoHobbyandStuff.com?
Honestly, I didn't know Jason until do you know CV Unknown?
Yes.
So he mentioned to me that I got a shout out on Twitch, and it was Jason who did it when I post my launch at on Reddit. So
Okay.
basically, I didn't even know Jason until CV told me, and then I spoke with him, and then we have that partnership after that.
All right. Thank you to CV Unknown. And that partnership has been pretty good for us in the Bad Gunpla Discord community. We're very thankful for the promo code and what it allows us to do with contest Gunpla 3 and other contests before it. And we're very thankful for all the giveaways that you have contributed to as part of the Mechanicore streams that we've been running. So, thank you very much for your patronage.
No, I should be thanking you guys for the support.
Right.
And Jason for willing to partner with an unknown.
Yep. Jason is very staunchly in favor of promoting smaller independent businesses. So
Yes,
JoJo Hobby and stuff fits right into that.
Yeah.
And to remind the viewers at home, since, you know, he's right here, I would like to remind everyone that Jason and Bad Gunpla's community has a discount code that can be used, Bad Gunpla 10. 10% of the kit's price will be reduced, and 2% will be added.
Actually.
5%. Oh, it's 5%? Okay.
Yeah.
Your order will be reduced by 5% of the price, and 2%...
No, 10%, sorry. So 10% on the discount, and then 5% goes into the pool.
Okay, thank you. You heard him. 10% is the discount you receive, 5% goes to the prize pool that we use for our contests that we run. It allows us to hold contests as frequently or infrequently as we do, and it helps us a little bit more when we do Mechanicore charity streams. So, speaking of Mechanicore charity streams, have you stayed awake to watch either of the two 24-hour Mechanicore streams that we have run?
Not like fully awake. I did watch for a few hours here and there.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. It is very difficult to stay awake for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And we're very happy for the support. So yeah, that's a little bit about the background of JoJoHobbyandStuff.com and how he ended up here in our community. What are your favorite kits that you have built in the past?
Oh, easy. Master Grade Freedom 2.0.
All right. What makes the Master Grade Freedom 2.0 your favorite model kit that you have built?
It's freedom, and you know how obsessed I am with it. So.
Yep.
And I like the scale 100, so that's why I love it.
All right. Since the 2.0 is your favorite Freedom kit, will you ever go back to build the 1.0 Freedom and sort of tell us what you like about it and what you think the 2.0 maybe does a little bit better?
I have one. The special, I think it's a bit older. The special coating, I think.
Okay.
I haven't built it yet, but it's on my stash somewhere.
Someday you may come back to us and tell us that the classic is your favorite kit. We will see in the future.
Maybe. Oh, it's extra finished version. Yeah. I got it from Secret Santa, actually.
Okay. Yeah. Didn't Jason has built a special coating Freedom Gundam at some point, but I can't remember if it was a high grade kit or if it was a master grade kit.
I think it was the master grade.
All right. And I think it was the 1.0, if I remember correctly. It's in the background in his Deltoff during his streams, but it's hard to see that because the camera is always focused on the kits he's building. Makes it a little hard to determine. All right, so after the Freedom as your favorite mobile suit, what do you think is a model kit that is underrated in the community?
I'm not sure. I think possibly RG Shinanju. A lot of people hate them, but I got two as a gift. It's already built and painted. I seems to love them. Like, it's really, really nice.
Yeah.
And I don't have any issue. I actually played them a little bit, not like really rough, but I played them. I reposted them several times, and I don't have any issues on both RGs.
All right.
like people been saying, mostly with the hip.
Yeah. Last year, for me, 2019 was the year of the real grade. I built a real grade kit every month of that year, and every one of them was
Nice.
new to me. And during that time, I did build the RG Sinanju because, I mean, I like how it looks. I think it looks gorgeous. And I'm very
Mm,
glad I did because a lot of times all I hear is sort of what the community is saying about the model kit, not necessarily
mm,
able to form my own opinion about what it'll be like. So it was very
mm.
good to get out there and sort of find for myself that I actually kind of like the Sinanju a lot.
Yeah, I actually never built an RG. I have a few um, in my collection, but all of them are still in box.
Yeah. I have the new Gundam as the only RG that's hanging out in my backlog still. I built
Nice.
I got the special effects version, so I built the stand for it, but I have not built the new itself.
So the special, that's the orange one, the orange box.
It the box displays it with the funnels flying around, and
Okay.
it has a included stand set to allow you to set up all the funnels flying around and such.
Okay, yeah. So that's the one with orange color.
Effect parts, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then beyond that, I heard from a friend that the connections will still work with the RG Sazabi. So my intention with
Nice.
that is to pair the two of them together fighting with funnels flying around all over the place.
Actually, I have the same idea.
Yeah. It's one of those kind of moments that you want to recreate from the show, you know?
Yeah. And interestingly, because I had a custom team, so good guy Dan was willing to paint them for me. I
I
gave him the team
see.
color, and then I got both in RG. So RG Sasabi and RG New
Okay.
in my color. It's just I haven't gotten a chance to display it yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what your work situation is, but next week I'm on furlough. So I'll have some time to, sort of rearrange all my setup and not worry about work and
Nice.
stuff. Well, I mean, it's not nice because I'm not getting paid, but
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, considering I still have a job and it hasn't gone away, I am very thankful. But
Hmm.
yeah, furlough is not maybe the best. So has your primary job continued to continued to exist even though the current situation is unfolding?
Yeah, my day job basically is very secure because if there's a crisis, then I'm pretty much is really needed.
Okay.
So it's critical that the position exists.
All right. McGunpla, as I remember, you were going to college, right? Is it doing a
Yeah,
lot of e-learning stuff, or has it
I
just kind of
hate it.
stopped? What?
I hate it.
Oh no.
It's all online, and it's I learn by like working with things, like specifically like hands-on.
Yeah.
That's how I work best. That's how I learn best. So my chem lab, having it all
Wait,
online,
how
basically just
can
like
you do
given
a chem
it,
lab online?
you're given the measurements, and you have to just do all the calculations.
Oh,
It's
Mm,
I'm not learning anything, so I've dropped that class. Um,
disgusting.
then there's a pre-calculus class and a composition class that I'm taking, and I'm getting the work done, but like it's a lot harder to concentrate when I'm at home. There's a lot of stuff going on since everyone else is at home.
Yep.
Normally, I go to the library to get my work done.
Yeah, a little hard to go there.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yep. I see. Yeah. This current thing that is happening right. See, I know that like YouTube demonetizes if you say exactly what it is, so I don't know if Twitch is the same or not. That's why I'm sort of talking around it, but we all know what I'm talking about here, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is rough.
Yep. I've been working from home for nearly 2 months now, and it's a little bit rough for me. I wish I could go into the office and see like all my coworkers because I feel like I work better when I'm not surrounded by distractions. But yeah. I also had 8 hours of training today that was supposed to happen in Baltimore, but instead happened over Zoom. So that was interesting.
I hate Zoom so much.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's just every single time, like anyone, like if my professor starts screen sharing, it goes full screen and then the chat pops out to another window.
Yes.
Or I go to a breakout room and the resolution goes to make a small sliver and I can't click on the full screen button.
Yep.
Or I open Zoom and then there's the default home page or like home window
Yep.
that also opens up and I can't close that or else I also leave the Zoom call. It's just
Yep.
none of this should be on by default.
Yeah, Zoom was not prepared to suddenly be the one thing holding everyone together in the apocalypse. And now suddenly it is. And it needs to stay awake and up so that everyone can continue to use it. So it won't improve until... Oops, dropped apart. Until the situation changes and they can take it offline and change it. Assuming they even decide to change it.
But like Discord is like set up in a better way. It allows like have a Discord server, you can have sub like voice channels to do screen share or to do breakout rooms. You can have screen sharing. It's you can have roles so that the student will like roll. It,
Well,
uh, a higher
well, McGunpla, you've kind of turned into a robot on me, but I do agree Discord is a little bit better than Zoom. I vastly prefer Discord to Zoom. Please try talking to me again, McGunpla. Are you still there? Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
You just got swallowed by the noise for a second there.
Oh
and
boy.
I had to reconfirm.
I was just saying Discord's set up a lot better and can do like everything that I can think that Zoom does, just better.
Yeah.
Except for you can't have as many people in a Discord call.
Yep. And that's kind of the main killer. How big are your university classes anyway?
Well, I'm going to a community college right now, so
Okay.
it's like 20 to 30 people on a call, which is Discord supports that, right?
Yes.
Because they said I think they up the limit to
50, I think. 50, yeah.
yeah.
I think the issue is that outside gaming community or like builders or any other that uses Discord are not really well known.
Yeah. And on
They're
top of
probably
that,
for gaming.
on top of that, you take a look at Discord and it immediately hits you with the memes. So it's a very good way to drive off, you know, the segments of the population that are responsible for making the decisions of what platforms to use.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily
True.
for me, in my day-to-day work, right before the apocalypse hit, we swapped from Skype to Microsoft Teams, and I think Teams works pretty well. So I'm glad that, you know, I don't have to use Zoom every single minute of the day.
Nice.
Yep.
One
All
of
right.
the one of the
you go ahead.
department that I know uses Zoom for a unit meeting, and then some stranger joined meeting, and then he did some indecent stuff,
Oh dear.
and everyone get to see it, and then the girls start screaming and
Yeah, I can
chaos
see how
happens.
that would be bad.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm at the point where I'm trying to figure out how the gun starts to go together now. So, these two pieces here are obviously the long section that go together. These two pieces here seem to press together, and then they seem to be the front camera probably goes into here, and then the hose and wire probably go into the back end, and they plug into the massive tank. One question I will ask is, does the wire and the mesh mount into the end of the gun here, or does it just kind of slide in and out and is directly connected into the big tank?
I don't know. I haven't built the kit.
Yep, it's very difficult to tell just from, like, looking at the pictures there. Which is, something I was a little bit worried about. But that's okay. Because there doesn't, like, with the real grade Gundam Mark II, which I have built before this, the mesh and the wire are, like, locked into place on one end and stay in place there. And then, the entire joint on top of that is just sort of covered. But there's nothing in this to really hold it in place. It looks like it'll just slide in and out the entire time, and then it'll probably be mounted somewhere in the tank here. Yeah, I believe this slot here that I'm pointing out will be where it gets held in place, and there's sort of a ridge where you can kind of bury it deep in there and have it probably... Yeah, that seems to be kind of correct. So this is probably how it goes in there. I can probably press these two pieces together and it'll work. After that, there might be a clear piece that plugs into the front there, and then there will probably be a white piece that plugs in around it to make the camera lens on the front side there. So that seems to be correct. These two pieces that I'm currently holding are going to be the front barrel of the gun, and there seems to be a red piece that goes in place in front there. I believe it's this. So it'll make the red triangles up in the front there. Presumably. It just doesn't quite... I may be wrong about that, though, because the long end piece here seems to go right into this peg. So this red piece probably goes somewhere else. Well, the biggest problem for all of this is, I need a picture. Well, there's a picture right here, except the gun is hidden behind the right side of the body. It's very difficult to tell. Generally, there's a big page of, like, action poses and stuff that's in color in the middle. Okay, yes. I will open it to look at the big action pose there. And I see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm putting it in upside down, I think. Yes, that makes sense. There it goes. Okay. I was putting it in upside down so the blade would be sandwiched sort of in between everything, but it needs to go up in the top. And then this will press together, and then there's it looks like a white piece that plugs into the end there to sort of hold it, to give it the nozzle on the end of it. So this will be the front part, and it will sandwich in between these two pieces of the big gun itself. So that goes there, and then this part here that's going to have the camera lens will go in the center there, and then this can move up and down depending upon whether the gun's in firing position or not. And then on the backside here, these two pieces will form the backside of the gun, and there doesn't seem to be anything else that really goes with this, so I can sandwich these two together and then put this into place. Now, which way? It goes this way. Yes, and that swings in. Okay, so aside from the missing camera piece and nozzle piece, I think I have most of the gun. And then this big handle probably fits onto here somewhere. Let us discover where the handle goes. Or actually, I keep looking back and forth to the pictures, and that's exactly what it is. But at the same time, like, it's very good sometimes to push yourself to the limit on what is and is not feasible as you're building. But at the same time, I wish I were a little bit smarter. A little bit more clever, a little bit more versed with building model kits and such. But
Nelson, you're an engineer. You've got it.
I sure hope so. So,
I know so.
there are two handles on this gun. One goes here on the front side of the gun, presumably like this, so that you can fold it out just like that, and then you can have two hands holding it, and then the second piece goes in this slot at the back here. So you'll hold it left hand here where my thumb is, and right hand here where my other hand and finger is. Now the question is, how does the gun fold up with the handle? Because I've got this piece here, and one of the things I notice is this peg on this side is longer than this peg on the other side. So I can look in here and I see the channel. So it's obviously intended to go with the long peg on one side and the short peg on the other. But the question is, okay, well, I guess it means that there only is one direction, and then this can just fold all the way out there. So I guess that makes my decision a little bit easier, huh? Then the handle obviously goes with the trigger finger pointed forward towards the front of the gun. So this is probably how it goes together. And now I've just knocked the entire part I've got together of the gun onto the floor. Perfect. A+. Good job.
I have to go now, Nelson.
Yeah,
Good
thank you
seeing
for dropping by.
No worries. See ya. Bye, Makompa.
Bye, Shen.
And then rolls that. Okay, cool. Who is this? Witch, not actually. What are you doing here? Get in here, Witch. You can go wherever you want. You can be in Stream Gunpla on air if you want to.
It's him.
He's here. Were you hanging out in the other chat down there, hoping I would eventually notice and pull you in?
Yes.
Well, congratulations. Eventually I did. Thank you for dropping by.
Noticed me.
I sure did.
Senpai noticed you.
Parts dropped, count 3.
Oh boy.
Yep. They all got picked up, though. So where I'm currently at, and, like, on my screen here, like, the resolution's a little bit blurry. It doesn't like to zoom in and such, so I can't tell how well you can see it. But most of the big gun is ready to be assembled here. I've got one handle in place. The second handle goes into its obvious slot. And then there is this piece here that goes into the center here. And it has a... excuse me, I feel like I got a burp at any time, but it's not coming. There it is. It's got the camera, and it's got a white part sort of surrounding it on the front of it. So I need to go find those parts before I put it on there. Then there's a white part at the end of the gun, and there seem to be a couple other, like, parts that go on here to sort of spruce up the color of the gun. Actually, I've just noticed looking back and forth. These pieces here, these are two little kind of nozzle thruster things, obviously to vent hot air or something after firing the gun. They probably go into place. Yes. And the other nice thing about this is that there's not a way for me to plug these two parts in to the wrong side. It's not going to come through, I don't think. Unless I zoom in real close. Yes, it readjusted. Okay. So you can see the L shape on one side of it and the straight peg on the other side of it for its two connections. These two L shapes on both sides of the part mean that I can only plug them in one way on the gun here, and they are 100% correct. So, that's good design. Good job, Bandai. So let's go find the parts that I still need off other runners. So, how's it going, Witch?
It's going wonderful.
Okay.
I quest for you once you're done with engineer intends to build the gunner Zaku. Do you think you could build as the engineer intends a victory Verka?
Well, the intention with this stream was to see if the concept, well, not with this stream, but with all of the streams that are to come for this, to see if it is feasible for me to take this concept from high grade scale up to master grade scale. And the Lunamaria Hawk Gunner Zaku Warrior is a strange in-between kit. It's nominally a master grade because it has an inner frame, but
It's
a
an
lot of the
RE100.
way it's been designed makes it seem like it was intended to be a RE100 kit. So it's sort of in that strange in-between space. And that's what, in my mind, made it perfect to attempt this sort of thing with. I'm sorry, I keep looking at the picture there because it looks like there are more parts that are going to plug onto the gun. And I'm not entirely sure what they are on here. Do I have another runner with white things on it? No? Seems like I don't. Everything seems to be here. Thankfully. But yeah, if somebody could send me a Victory... So, you said Victory 2 Verka, right?
No, the original one.
Okay. I might be able to. Part of the reason why I'm starting with this kit is because I am familiar with the design. I don't know if you were here earlier, but I have the high-grade version to help show me the way. So at the very least, I have, like, the general shape of what the mobile suit should look like in the third dimension before it's here. I've replaced the backpack because I eventually intend to paint it up and have it, like, I don't know, take part in some sort of system where you paint your mobile suits and then you put numbers to them and then you fight. I don't know. It might be build fight system. It's not, but it could have qualified for that. But, like, my familiarity with with the design is what's leading me to do this, and I know nothing about the Victory Gundam. So, it will be very difficult for me to build the Victory Verka. So, you could challenge me by sending me that kit. I will likely fail that challenge in my current state, but, you know, we'd have a laugh at least. That's what counts, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Yep. I wish I believed in myself as much as you believe in me.
I don't know, even with the manual, this build is... I'm on the 4th day of building now. I have finally gotten to start building the mobile suit itself.
Yeah, because I remember seeing a squadron of core fighters.
Yeah.
It needs all of those core fighters? It needs all of those
No,
core
you just
fighters?
get 4.
Oh, I see.
You get 2 with the base Victory Gundam kit, and then another 2 extra with the V-Dash set.
Okay. So, you bought the Victory Verka, and then you bought an option part set for the V-Dash. Is this correct?
He got the
can buy
combo
the
pack.
option. Yeah, you can buy it separately, but I bought it together. It does come in one box.
Okay. Well, is that a P Bandai kit, or is that a regular
Nope.
release?
Retail.
Regular release.
All right.
On Bandai was nice.
Yep.
So you could buy just like the core booster, as well as the Victory Gundam Verka. But I don't think if you go that way, I don't think you get 4 core fighters. I think you still just get 2 regular ones.
I'm pretty sure you get 4.
Piade has said, I just saw that you say you have the same nippers as me, Nelsonator. Be careful, they can easily break. These thick chunguses here?
I
Really?
do not believe those are god hands.
They are certainly not god hands. These are Piate Model 170 shears. It recommends use safety glasses, maximum 0.40 inch
Diameter
minimum
copper wire.
diameter copper wire. It's hard to tell
it's
because
millimeter, not minimum.
Well, it's hard to tell because the label has been worn away from me touching it too much.
I'm
But
holding the same thing in my hand.
yeah, did we all
Mine
buy
say-
the
Mine say
same?
pliers instead of shears.
Interesting.
I use them to cut pin.
Because I was going to ask if we all bought the same starter kit off of Amazon to get us started on modeling.
I got a Mr. Hobby
Okay.
set a while back,
Okay.
so a bit different nippers.
Yep. All right. So, since you're new and you're talking about the kit that you're building, and I probably need to circle back and give you a little bit more love, McGunpla, because I spent the entire opening of this just talking to Shin. But what part of the build are you working on now, Witch?
Arms.
Okay. So what is the mechanism that connects like the upper torso or arms and such to the Victory Gundam Core Fighter?
That's an excellent question, and one that I'm sure I'll get to in like 20 pages.
Perfect. Yeah, I was wondering if there was like a cradle or something that held it in place, but
I believe that's how it works.
okay. Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Also, like the head of the Victory Gundam is inside of the Core Fighter, right?
It is.
Yeah. I vaguely remember that.
Half inside the core fighter, right?
Yeah,
Peaks
like-
over the
Yes.
top.
Yeah.
You get two options. You get the Hexa head and the normal Gundam head.
Yep, so you can build it in Mook mode or you can build it in lead mode.
I have to say the Hexa head is adorable and I love it.
Mook mode it is. Yeah, I still, so I've built the RE 100 Gun Easy, and it came with a lot of marking stickers for the entire Suicide Squad Shrike team that shows up in Victory Gundam. So, if I ever have a Victory Gundam, I can put the decals on and say, this exact member piloted this mobile suit. And then they died horribly. Because that's what
Sounds
happens
like
in
Victory Gundam.
Yeah. I'm sorry if that's a spoiler for you, Witch, but you don't watch Gundam, so...
No, I don't.
Yep. So all's well that ends well.
He only watches Gundam for the impatient.
It's a good way to watch Gundam.
What's that?
Yeah, it's been a while since Jason put one of those out. Someday it shall return. Someday. Maybe.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I even want to call it a transformation, but the way the nose cone folds back to let the core fighter be its chest is really adorable, and I love it. I would love to have a Victory Gundam like bust, like the other 135th busts that I have,
Yeah.
or like a 135th core fighter, or like anything,
Yeah.
because
Well,
this is really adorable. I love it.
well, Victory Gundam unfortunately is not terribly popular, so you just gotta take what you can get, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, supposedly, I assume there's going to be a big sticker that's going to go... yep, sure there is. On the sticker sheet, there's this big blue sticker here that's going to go right in the center there. I'm not going to put that in place, but it'll come in and get put in place later. But the entire section here that has the sight on it can slide up and down inside of the gun. So that's kind of cool. Doesn't feel like I've inserted it quite far enough for this, though, which is a little bit strange, and it makes me a little bit worried when I put the entire thing together. We will see. But from the looks of it, there doesn't seem to be anything else that goes inside of this here. So I think I'm clear to sandwich these two parts together and then go from there. There's a piece that seems like it's going to go in front of the camera there. And then there's going to be a piece that goes in the front and behind of whatever this section is here. But other than that, everything seems to be in place to be pressed together. So, Witch, have you ever built a kit without looking at the manual as you've been building it?
Nothing on this scale.
Right.
I've done like SDs, bears, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Space Marines, I guess. But that's, once you've built one, you've built all of Games Workshop's line.
I see. Something
Nothing
doesn't...
complex.
Yes. Oh, I see what I'm doing here. Okay. I have... In my haste, I have not gotten the handle that's going to be held in the thing here out of the way, so I need to... I'm sandwiching the handle in between the two parts here, unfortunately, so I need to pry that out of place and fix that. Wait. All that discussion I had about putting the handle in the proper way, and I put it in backwards. Good job.
Oof.
Well, this could be worse. McGunpla was here when I built the Calamity Gundam to start, and the problem that ended up happening with the Calamity Gundam is that it has a big runner of polycaps, and it's very difficult to tell where any of the polycaps are supposed to go. So, imagine yours truly hanging out, just trying to figure out which polycaps go where, and having a hell of a time with it. And then, at the end, I get it all assembled, and the polycaps in the ankle joints are too small to actually, like, fit properly into the bottom of the leg, so it doesn't stand well at all. So, there's a clip on this channel that I'm pretty sure McGunpla clipped of him telling to me, what happens if you blow on it? And I take a deep breath and just blow the entire kit over. So,
Puff and I'll puff.
I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow it down. Alright.
Interestingly, there does seem to have been a Victory Gundam head made, but not like a full body.
Okay. Also, I am looking at the manual here. Well, at the pictures in the manual, you can see what I'm looking at. And I don't think there's actually going to be a part that goes into place here. It seems to be a receptacle for when the gun folds up. So, we might actually succeed in completing something meaningful today. Which is good, because my voice is hoarse from talking too much due to Zoom meetings, among other things. But hey, we got a big gun. It's a good start. Very auspicious. No, this isn't going to be there.
It's always a good place to start.
Yep. I'm glad I was able to, at least get something complete. Assuming I can figure out how these parts plop into the gun itself, these white parts. Okay? Yeah? You got a white part, white accent right there. Because the high grade version of this kit, this entire gun that comes with it is just a solid, well, it's not solid per se, but it's a single color. So you have to add all of the color yourself to it. And, like, that's very common of the old seed kits, and I'm very sure they recommend, like, hey, here's how you can easily fix this with Gundam markers, which, pro tip, good for them. They're at least encouraging people to level up their, hobby making ability and take their skills to the next level. But we've got a gun. It's here as it's small, and then it folds out, becomes large.
This sounds similar to the launcher strikes gun.
Yeah.
It's small and folds out.
Yep. So the next question becomes, how will the big tank here put itself on anything? Because I've at least figured out this big red piece here goes on top of the tank here. This is going to go on top of it, and then another white piece is going to go there. Actually, let's just get all the white pieces out first. And then I'll have to dig through the runners I have here and figure out which parts are part of the backpack that are going to connect onto this here. That will be the real question. The real, as the engineer intends, starts here. Which is a very corny thing to say, but, you know. Are you working on anything, McGunpla?
I am painting the G Gundam pilot figures, or not necessarily pilot figures, the 1 to 20 figures that you get with the Master Grade G Gundam kits. Currently, I'm working on Schwarzbruder's V-fin and Rain's heads.
You told me that earlier in the stream when I asked, didn't you?
I not to that much detail, but yes.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that I
Rain's
forgot
heads?
asking.
Yeah, you get 2 heads. Don't you know?
I see.
Because she's in the she's in a Neo Germany outfit, and so you get the Schwarzbruder mask and her normal head.
That's cool.
Yeah, I kind of wish there was like a regular figure with her kind of pink and blue outfit,
Yep.
but no. I also wish there was a Master Grade Nobel Gundam,
Yep.
because there was a prototype for that, right?
I believe so. There were prototypes for the Dragon Gundam, Gundam Master, the Nobel, and the Rising Gundam, I believe. And they are 4 G Gundam Master Grades that we didn't get, compared
The
to the
Rising
4...
Gundam would have come with the normal Rain figure.
Presumably, yes.
Yeah.
And Argo Golski gets shafted again.
Yeah.
These are
Unfortunately.
words.
Yep. So
Argo Golski is the Russian Gundam fighter.
So how much do you know about G Gundam Witch?
I watched 5 minutes of an episode where Domon dislocated his Gundam's shoulder to beat a snake.
Yep. I understand immediately
And
Oh yeah.
what episode you
then-
watched.
And then some children were like, Domo!
Yep. Because those children attempted to steal the God Gundam earlier on in the server mute, unmute. Nope, it's not working on Swing. Huh.
He has
Well-
muted himself.
I see. He's unmuted himself. But earlier in that episode, those kids tried to steal the God Gundam. And then, like, the leader of their shitty bunch was feeling a lot of angst for causing Domon to nearly lose the fight by causing him problems, you know? And then that kid never comes back. But you know what you're watching. You're
Domon
watching
probably-
G Gundam. The intention of G Gundam is to be like a kung fu movie, and it's extremely kung fu to have a snot-nosed brat wander in, mess you up for a little bit, but for you, the good guy, to teach the brat an important lesson before you ride off into the sunset. So I'm okay with it.
Also, it's a bit late now, but I absolutely resent the remark that I don't watch Gundam.
Okay.
I watched part of Gundam San, and I was very confused.
Okay.
And I watched like the last 5 minutes of the 0079 second movie.
Okay.
Char murked Jim, and yeah, he
All
talked
right.
to the blonde.
Okay.
Also,
well.
it was dubbed, and the dub was not great.
Oh, did they call them Zoks instead of Zakus?
Zaku.
Yes. And Char.
Yes.
Actually, they're watching the third movie right now, and I was contemplating bailing to watch it, but then I'm like, no, I might get too much context if I watch the whole movie. I'll just show up for like the last 5 minutes. Again.
Perfect idea. Generally, the best and the safest way to go. Clearly, that's the best way to do it. All right, so now comes the fun question. Searching through all of these parts to find what parts are part of the backpack and how they connect to the mobile suit as a whole. the real fun starts here. So how's it going, Swing? Well, I can see
You are very quiet.
I can see
can
his name
barely
lighting
hear
up,
you.
but I can't hear him speaking. He's currently at 93% volume in Discord.
I could just barely make him out, but yeah, very quiet.
Okay.
Turn up yo gain, boy.
You gotta get those gains, man. You go to the gym, you lift some weights, you get those gains.
I watched an anime about that once.
Oh yeah, how was it?
It was very
Own a
confusing.
guy
I need to go
muscle.
back. Yeah.
I like how McGunpla just knew the name of it off the top of his head.
Actually, that's not the name of it. That's the opening.
Yeah, that's the opening. It's what, like, how heavy are the dumbbells you lift or something?
Well, I know it under the name Dumbbell Kilomotoru, but yes, how heavy are the dumbbells you lift?
All right. That's
a
Can you
bit of a
guys hear me
meme,
now?
great.
yes.
Oh my goodness!
You're
It's
very
louder.
loud.
Too loud.
It's fine.
You're inhaling your mic.
Yeah, I was trying. Is this good? Right from right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So how are you guys? Sorry about that.
Well, things are going pretty all right. My throat's a bit sore because I've been talking a lot today, but that's to be expected. The big gun that's part of the backpack has been completed. And I made a mistake or two, but it was before final assembly, so it was pretty easy to get apart with the parts separator. The color detail is all in place, so that's good. Shin Arster also showed up for a bit, so I got to say hello to him. So, you know,
Pretty cool.
hello, Daddy Shin. I am moving from the big gun to the backpack that it connects to. Hopefully. We'll see if I have the competence to figure out what all are the special parts for it. I'm looking at runner E1 because this is like the furthest into the build. I don't think it's going to be runner E1, unfortunately. I don't think there's anything on there that's going to help with it. All of this seems to be like repeated foot parts for that bit. Then there's a chest, a backpack, and then there's stuff that goes on the inside of the shield and extra magazines and the heat hawk. So this runner is not going to be useful to me. Runner D has presumably a lot of arm and leg frame pieces here, and a little bit of hip joint pieces as I can see. So I doubt there's anything on that runner that's going to help me. And then on runner C here, this is the waist. This might be internal to the chest or the backpack, and then there's a lot of hands and stuff on this runner. So I don't think runner C is what I need either. So I'm starting with runner B here, but I don't know if all the parts I need are in here. I think
So I
they
may
are.
be a little oblivious right now. You're not using the instructions, are you?
So you can see in front of me the manual open to the centerfold with the colored pictures. This is what I get. This is building as the engineer intends, where as the engineer is always right as he builds. I do not need, like, this is sort of the contrapositive to Twitch builds, because Jason said, we're going to follow the manual as the engineers intended, and I say, I'm the engineer, you should do what I say. He did not do as I said, and I'm showing him up by pro-building in quotation marks.
Ah, yes, I see.
Yes. But, this is the first master grade kit that I have built in this style, and I have built 3 master grades up to this point. I have built the master grade F91, the master grade Jagan, and the master grade Sinanju Stein Verkha. So, you know, a lot of different kits there that have been built. But, oh wait, no, this is the 5th master grade I've built because I built the Impulse. Well, color me surprised. I can't even remember all the damn kits I built.
I built a kit once. It was
Impossible. I don't believe it.
I just want to go ahead and find me some more officially challenged kits.
Yeah. What are you looking for on the officially challenged spectrum? You still waiting on that RAS 30 or whatever it is?
Oh heck yeah!
All right.
Assuming it doesn't get delayed, that should be a September release.
Okay.
And then the weapons system parts for it are coming sometime middle of next year.
Okay. Dekiner asks, so this is your 5th ever master grade. What about high grades? Well, let's turn around and look at the shelf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 within line of sight, 16, 17, 18, and I have a bunch more out in the front there. There's a 19th in the box there that needs stickers. There's a 20th. There's a 20th that's kind of gutted on the floor here. There's a 21st and a 22nd in these boxes that still need to be worked on projects that I will eventually get back to. The number is closer to 100 than it is to 50, I believe. I've kept track of how much I've spent on Plamo, if that means anything, and I spent a lot.
Oh no.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that, but at the same
you shouldn't
time...
do that. That's a bad idea.
Well, see, I talked to my coworkers about hobbies and stuff, and, like, I told one of them that, you know, I feel like I'm spending so much on this, it feels a bit wasteful. And then, like, one of this guy's hobbies is that he is a sports shooter. So, like, clay pigeons, targets, that kind of stuff. And that's a hobby where your money just evaporates. So, you know, he talks about that, and then I don't feel all that bad about it anymore, you know?
Because you got something to show at the end of the day.
I have something to show at the end of the day.
And he's got broken pigeons.
Yep. And nobody wants those anyway, but he enjoys it, and he's also, like, an actual hunter, too, so, you know, he's got venison and veal and turkey and stuff. Well, not veal, because that's not what you go hunting for, but, you know.
But does he have moose?
I
Meese.
don't think you can hunt moose in the state of Minnesota. I don't know if you can get a license to hunt moose.
I would be very afraid to hunt moose because they're supposed to be super aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah, and I
Which
would
is, like, insane.
one after me.
And
Yeah.
and they are also very large.
Yep. Although I've heard, like, there's some animals that are large that you wouldn't expect to be, like, not that bad. Like, you'd expect that to be, oh, that's going to be difficult to hunt, but then it ends up not being that difficult. Like, bears, apparently, are not terribly difficult to hunt. Because bears are very scared of people, unless, you know, you're near their cubs. They also, like... You know, maybe I shouldn't get much into the specifics, you know? They're big, but they're not necessarily, like, aggressive, so it's not nearly as bad as it seems to be.
I wanted to ask, does your friend have a stroller for his guns?
I don't think he does, but he probably has a bunch of saves, because he has, many. A small armory of his own, and, like, there's another guy who runs the test lab where, like, back when they said, oh yeah, we're gonna send out $1,200, and, like, joking before the meeting, they're talking to each other, he's like, so, what you gonna call your new gun that you're getting with that? And he's like, well, I've got an idea, so, you know how that goes.
Speaking of the stimulus check, I've got a conundrum you guys might be able to help me with.
Okay. Have you paid rent?
Well, I don't pay rent. I am a dependent.
Okay.
But I was waiting for my refund check from the IRS because I don't earn enough to pay taxes.
Okay.
And I received a letter in the mail. My parents handed it to me and says, "Here's your IRS stuff." And I open it, and it is a stimulus check.
Okay.
And I am a dependent, and I have no idea what to do with it.
All right.
You get to keep
Save
it,
for your
You get to keep it.
education.
from what I'm aware.
Yep.
Because I got one.
Well, consider the market is currently down because of, standard stuff. This, like, as it sort of starts to bottom out and things start to come back, it might be a good time to talk to a financial advisor and put it into, like, a savings account.
Oh no, I already have a savings account, and it's definitely going in there. But the question is, do I get to keep it? Is it a mistake, or are they going to come take it back?
I'm pretty sure you get to keep it. I'm pretty sure you get to keep it. I bought a Valve Index.
Okay, all right. That's the VR headset, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can play Half-Life Alyx with that.
Yep. Once it ships, it's like 8 weeks.
I really wish I had the space for a VR rig, but my room is encased in gunpla boxes.
Yep, that happens. Have you considered maybe condensing your gunpla boxes?
I need to, but I can't bring myself to. I like the artwork on a bunch of them, especially the Thunderbolt boxes.
Okay.
But
okay. Please,
they're everywhere.
Please consider the surface area is the most important thing, and the volume is not necessarily that important.
Well, the thing is, I keep all the kits in there. The Atlas is still stored in its box. The V2 is still in its box. The thing is, I use them for storage mainly.
Well then.
I'm running out of display space too, so I may need to store some other stuff.
Well then. Yeah, compared to me, we're like...
Have you considered taking your stimulus check, going to IKEA and being like, I would like 5 Detolfs, please?
Problem with that is I don't have anywhere to put them either, because my room doesn't have that much floor space.
Okay. Well, how about shelving? Go buy some floating shelves and just put them
I would love to,
but
I don't know if I need to get help installing them. But I think that may be the best option.
Yeah, floating shelves. Dekiner asks me, got any perfect grades? No, I do not.
Is there any that you want?
Not many of the designs I truly enjoy have been made into perfect grades. The closest is the strike. So, eventually a strike, maybe. But not today. Install magnets in the shelves and make the floor magnetic to get floating shelves.
I just remembered. Well, I just thought of this. You know what I could afford with a stimulus check now?
What?
A Mechanicore.
You sure could.
You
sure
could?
Please think of your future.
Well, one of the things I was intending to do, maybe...
The future is Mechanicore.
I had a thought in the back of my head at the very least. Jason is, in all likelihood, going to finish the Mechanicore Zur store in the next Mechanicore charity stream that we run. So I was thinking I could get a Mechanicore and just pull it up on screen at the end of it and be like, Jason, the curse continues.
He would kill you. I am pretty sure he would come to where you are, and I don't know if he'd accept that.
Well, we'd charity stream, but I would be the one building the Mechanicore,
That makes more sense.
Yep. Like, I would build that. Like, if I am buying a Mechanicore, like, I want to experience pain and suffering for my own.
Like, I really liked the Stamen they're developing right now.
Yeah, but thank you, Witch, for providing Jason with that suffering for all of our amusement and enabling us to raise a lot of money for charity. Thank you very much. I would
like to point out that Mechanicore is not developing a Stamen. That is a different third-party company.
Oh, well, I was mistaken then.
Yeah, and the one you're talking about is the Ross 30, right?
Yes. From Rodams.
Rodams. I'm glad to see...
I've never seen anything else from them, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing, like, a series that doesn't get that much love. Because, like, I guess Mechanicore did do a Tyrannosaurus. But yet, I would prefer to see, like, some of the other designs come out of, Stardust Memory, Now, at what point is Rodam's going to make a RAS 30 sized Dendrobium to go with their RAS 30?
That is the weapon system that I mentioned coming out next year. They're not doing a full Dendrobium. If you've seen the Gundam fixed configuration that has, I think, 4 of the missile pylon things, the big gun, and the radar, that's what they're doing.
The eye field generator, I think it is.
Okay, sure. Those are words.
That is the eye field generator, yes.
I've never seen Stardust Memory. It doesn't look particularly interesting to me, so I'm not going to see it for a long time.
The rumors are true. It's basically Top Gun in space, but like
I love it.
There's a lot of romantic drama. It gets weird at the end.
I have a question. Is a novel Gato supposed to be like the hero or protagonist per se?
No, that is Ko Uraki, a raging autistic.
Okay, like, I have a theory, just sort of looking at promotional material and stuff, about who's, like, supposed to be maybe the good guy in big old quotation marks here of that.
The good guy is the most
it's
basic
Universal
looking,
Century,
like,
Nelson. There is no
basic
good
looking
guy.
Gundam pilot.
You're right. I'm sorry for thinking too hard about it. But I'm watching Gundam Age, like, right now. Not now, but watching Gundam Age, you know, over time. And I like, I haven't hit the point where people start yelling about it being bad, but it seems pretty alright, as far as I can tell so far. So, wondering when it's eventually gonna get bad. You know? And there are absolutely no retorts to me saying Gundam Age actually pretty alright. Cool.
Well, I've never seen Gundam Age.
I've never seen Gundam Age, and I'm painting Rain's eyes.
I can confirm I have not seen Gundam Age.
Well, and that's the entire problem. Now, isn't it? Rikibasha says...
I built the Dark Hound.
Yeah, the H2 Dark Hound is a pretty cool boy. I like him a lot.
I can't say I was overly fond of the transformation, but it's definitely different from other things I've seen with the way the chest folds down.
Yeah, what scale did you build it in?
Master grade.
Okay, alright. Yeah. Add another thing to the pile of Master Grade kits that were concepted and designed but never released. Master Grade Age 3 and Age FX. But then again, like, there's a reason why people don't like Gundam Age. And it comes down to the person that pilots the Age FX and the Age 3. So, I think I'm coming up on that point in my personal watch. So, y'all might see me take a dramatic turn on how I think about Gundam Age.
You know what I don't like about Gundam Age?
What?
The hand mold for the master grades.
Okay.
They used the mold on the GM Sniper Custom and the GM Command Colony type.
Okay.
I have the Colony type, and I snapped the wrist trying to get it out of the socket because the connection between the ball joint and the actual wrist is so flimsy. I'm trying to determine if I can get a replacement part from Bluefin with the receipt, because I saved the receipt, thankfully.
Yeah, replacement farts. Woo!
But like, I have the extra parts to make the literal hand from the Age, but the way the hand covers work, I'd have to chop them up to actually fit it in there. So that's frustrating.
Okay. Lightning Black Warrior version 2 says, remember when there was supposed to be a Master Grade Gaffran? Gaffran?
No, I do not.
The Gaffran is a Mook suit from Gundam Age, where, like, to attain a flight mode, it can transform into this dragon-like form. And then its tail is a big cannon that it can kind of actuate around in a bunch of different ways. So,
I think I have seen a custom version of this with that was part of that Pokemon trio that they did a Charizard.
Yeah, that was the Charizard.
Okay. Please go find that picture for me. I would like to see it, because I think there are other age kits that might fit Charizard better than a Gaffran. Because there's a kit in Gundam Age that shows up in, like...
Wait, no, I was wrong. It's not the Gaffran.
It's the Danazine, isn't it? It's the one that
Dragon
really looks like
Rings.
Charizard?
Yeah, it's the Danazine.
Yep. Called it. Because that person had the same idea that I did way back when.
I have placed the image in the voices to texts.
Alright, so they've got Cubely wings that have been repurposed for flower buds for Ivysaur on top of a Dom R35. We have a Gushan as Squirtle with some extra... Or no, that's supposed to be Blastoise, I suppose.
It is.
Alright. And then, yep, that is definitely the Danazine in the back there that is posing as Charizard. Now, where's the Pokemon trainer? And where's Pikachu?
Inside.
Yeah, clearly.
Pikachu is inside the SD Neo Zeon, obviously.
Right, that's a good picture too. I love just seeing that picture.
Also, here is a Pikachu ball.
Alright, I can't wait to see that. Oh, yep, there it is. Alright. Good job, Mr. Modeler, man.
Oh god. Okay. I've got the eyes done on one of the...
Pixar didn't happen.
I've just come to a terrible
I'm gonna get the
realization.
eyebrows and I'm gonna show it.
I've just come to a terrible realization.
What's that, Nelson?
Yep. Unless this piece that I'm holding in my hand can pop into here, which it can't because it has teeth on it, I'm going to have to disassemble the gun
Oof.
to get the wire to go into place. Well, I suppose that makes sense. I did ask earlier, does this just, like, hang out in place there? Nobody told me yes, which, you know,
Well,
kind of
because
defeats
nobody's
the point.
built the kit.
Right, yeah. Not even Shin Arster was here. And, well, Shin Arster was here, and he didn't even say yes, so he obviously did not know either. But I see...
I believe he was just sabotaging you, actually.
Oh, man, if only that were the case. I'd love that if that were the case. But let's see if I can get... Nope. The mesh wants to fray as opposed to slide into place of that. Oh, hey, someone even found a Zaku warrior. That's Pikachu. Nice.
Oh, is that what that's supposed to be?
Yes. That's a...
Oh, yes, the shield on the shoulder is... That's like the one, the one that you're building.
Yeah. This is like an SD version of the kit that I'm currently building, I think. Or it's one of those, like, high grades that have been SDified, you know? But yeah.
That would be my guess, just because of the proportions.
Alright, so the question now becomes... How do I want to take this apart to put this together? How do I fix my mistake?
Peg hole?
Yeah, because one of the things I could absolutely do that I'm sort of tempted to do because I don't intend to paint this kit is just cut these pegs off, get some plastic cement, and just cement the damn thing into place. Because that'll work. Okay.
Lightning has informed me that it is the SDBB Senshi Luna Maria Gunner Zaku War. Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe. Probably. I'd believe it. Okay. Then the next question becomes, How do... Because this is obviously the backpack that's going to mount into the back. I wish I had some big full-color pictures of the backs. Oh, yep, that sure is rain right there. Huh, alright. Threw me off my game.
This is
What was I saying?
smaller than my pinky.
Oh, jeez. That's small.
Wait, that's supposed to be rain?
It's Rain when she has like the Neo Germany mask on.
I have not seen G Gundam. I need to see G Gundam.
Yeah.
Rain is wearing a Neo Germany outfit at one.
Yep.
I was going to ask if she was just like a big soccer fan or something. Sorry, football fan.
Football.
For the Germans.
Die
Why
Deutsche.
does she have a hole in her head
The V fin.
For a V-fin.
that's off-centered?
Even I
For
know
the
that.
V-fin.
Reference for backpack. Someone went and found me a picture. Okay. This sort of makes sense. A little bit. Okay, I see.
That's the reference image I'm using, which...
They'll go down to there. And then these two parts over here will press together. As long as nobody posts a picture of the manual, we're all good. So, don't do that.
Somebody posted it. Oh, never mind.
And then there's more pictures of the gun. Yep. I've at least figured out that these two pieces here are going to be the arm that holds it in place. And then there's these pieces here. They've got a ball joint on one side, and then they've got two sort of slots for it to go into there. And these two slots go, like, through the thing itself. That's a Gundam. When can I see the finished kit? Ba-ba-ba. Okay. So now comes the fun part. I have to look at the picture of the backpack and figure out which direction these things need to go into here to be able to make this work. So, this goes here. Will it pop into place? Yes, I believe it will. Perfect. That goes there. Then this would plug onto here. Yes, just like that. And then there's there's this piece here. This tiny little two-way piece that, as I'm hopefully going to show here, has like a long side on one side and a short side on the other side. And it also has a way that definitely points towards the outside. It's difficult to see in the pictures because obviously that's not the thing you want to be focusing on. You want to be focusing on the entire work and not the small bits on their own. So it's a little difficult to figure out where exactly these parts go into place on here. But, you know, that's the intention of building as the engineer intends. This is supposed to fold, I believe. Now the question becomes, how does it fold? Because I have it in the correct position here to be mounted onto the backpack. So then it'll probably fold. That'll probably flip out like that, and then it probably folds this way? No. That way? Really, that way? I'm sorry, it's just very hard to figure out how this arm is supposed to fold here, because as soon as I figure out how the arm can fold, I can figure out where this part goes to connect it together. But I should not be focusing too heavily on that. It did. The manual builds everything and just says, tightly fits the parts as far as I can go. Well, great. I can't tell what exactly Lightning Black Warriors or what Breaking Basha is referring to there, so I don't know entirely what's going on. That's okay. So yeah, aside from me being confused by reading the manual here, okay, so this is going to be the place where this is going to plug in. Yep, and I ought to, before I put these two pieces together, plug the wire into this side, and then I can plug it in on there. So not like this, it goes the other way around. That was when you said if the wire plugs in. Well, sure. The wire is supposed to go as deep into this thingo. Yeah, thingo. That's a good way to put it. Great words. Good job, Nelson. Use your words.
Good engineering terms.
Yep.
Do not need to be specific, as long as you can understand what you were meant to be putting things into.
Yep. Actually, I don't think the mesh needs to go all that deep into the wires at all. Like, I can just sort of push the wire in there as far as I can, and then, like, the mesh just sort of hangs out right on top of it there, and it's good enough. Fine enough. You don't need to take apart the gun, you say. Well, it looks like I'm going to break some tabs if, that's the case. Because it seems like when I plug this into here, there's definitely a space for this to just kind of plug in. I can see that goes up towards the top, and then this comes down on top of it. And then almost didn't quite get this end lined up correctly. Perfect. Okay, so the hose is properly put onto the top there. And yes, I absolutely did miss the part that goes inside the gun. So at some point, maybe to end this stream, that's why I'm going to be taking apart there to make it work. And then this piece here seems like it just plugs into the massive tank. Probably like that. Probably like that. It's right there. Then red piece goes on top. Then the big topper piece goes on top. Then the small bit goes on top there. Alright. Most of the gallon jug is done. And then the bottom piece goes on the bottom of it. And then this little bit is complete. This part plugs into... I see what I need to do here. Okay. I need to disconnect the big tank from the backpack so that I can plug this arm that goes across the top there into both. Then I can connect these two parts directly together. Alright, so now we seem to have a wizard pack. There seems to be... Yes, this one piece, this big grappling bar here, that goes across the back. Then, once that's plugged in. Okay, so we've got the big bar across the back here. We've got the bottom and the top. We've got the big old tank on the side. This plugs in to whatever arm goes on there, which I haven't gotten like a great picture for. But I'm going to plug this into place, and then I don't know if it's going to take. Well, is it symmetrical about the axis? It totally is not. But I think I can figure it out from there. Oh, I think it goes this way. Okay, so let's plug this piece into here. There's probably pop. There's no pop, it just goes in. Alright. Then this piece will go... I'm going to pull this off the gun. Then this piece will go in here. I should just pull this entire thing. There we go. That popped into place. Alright. I now have a arm that can tilt and move around in a couple of interesting ways. Presumably. Because I can assume it's supposed to fold up. Oh, I'm probably supposed to, like, pop out that entire joint so that I can... Okay, yeah. I guess that makes sense. But yeah, there's a way to fold the gun up and sort of wiggle the arm about as I go. So, alright. That's the arm. Now, who wants to spend the next 20 minutes of stream prying apart this gun so that I can fix it?
Ooh, I don't.
Well...
Yeah, if you mail it to me, I'll do it.
Well...
But it's got to be within the next 20 minutes.
The good news is I have a part separator. We're going for it. We're going to be courageous. We're going to try to do this correctly. And we'll see how far it gets. There are many, many, many... I need to remove a couple parts. Oh, right, because I put these white parts into place. I might not be... Oof. White parts. Can they pop? No. I need to... Okay. so these two white parts here that I put into place, they hold the gun closed at the front. So I need to figure out a way to get them off before I can get the before I can pop the thing out.
Don't get me wrong. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm not being sarcastic. But if you tried pliers, you could wrap some cloth around the part and then take pliers and try to pull them
The
out.
problem is they are not. They do not have parallel surfaces, so the pliers won't stick to them unless there's a lot of cloth padding. And then I assume it's going to stick more. Like it's going to take the cloth, but it's not going to take the part itself. Like I have to pry it up with my knife here or with the tweezers I've got. And honestly, the knife ain't really doing it. So I don't think I'll be able to get much better with the tweezers I've got. So unfortunately, well, fortunately, considering what Witch was chanting earlier, this might just end up being me cutting the part and then gluing it in. Because that'll be... Oh, okay. Well, there's hope. This front part is coming off. Or at the very least, it's lifted up. As the engineer intends is, on one hand, about predictive thinking to determine the intent of Bandai's engineers and build it as they intend, but also it is fixing your mistakes as you make them because you are not nearly as clever as you think you are. So,
I resemble that remark.
yes.
This may run counter to the whole theme of as the engineers intended, but I'll ask Nelson, have you ever built an LBX kit?
Nope.
So the cool thing about LBX kits is they're made for smaller kids. They're still cool designs, but all the runners are labeled with head, torso, leg, waist, and arm labels.
Okay.
And the runners pop apart like the Leo did.
Okay.
So like you could technically disassemble all the runners into their individual piles. Would that be something interesting for the as the engineer intends? I don't know if that detract or add to the whole experience.
Well, I can do 30-minute missions kits. I can do altos as the engineer intends because I built 5 of them. That is as the engineer intends easy mode. But like I even streamed myself speed running a build of them of an alto to see how quickly I could complete it, and the answer was like 61 minutes or something like that, I think. But that's with me doing, all the nub removal, all the sanding, all of that stuff, because I want it to look good, So there are definitely ways that could improve the speed of that process. But with the LBX kits, I don't think there's enough of like a challenge to it for me to want to do it, Like here I am building a master grade gunpla, which I do not build master grades terribly often. Like as I've said earlier, this is the 5th one I've ever built. And I want to, I don't know if increase the challenge is the proper way to say it, but I want to increase the challenge. So I'm going to continue to, push the boundaries of it in this sort of way. And, like, the LBX kit seems like it's going to be, like, not the direction I want to take as the engineer intends.
That's understandable.
Yes. Also, like, I know the designs you're talking about. I just, like, I've seen them in the stores near me, but I don't think they're terribly cool, unfortunately. So that's the other limiting factor. It's
certainly subjective.
Yeah. It's not something I would have on my shelf. It's not something I'm looking forward to putting onto my shelf long term, I've seen a couple of them around, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of see what they're going for here, but, like, they're not aimed at me. So, okay. The peg on the front end of the gun here does not want to come apart. Almost there. So Witch, I know that you said let's not, but I'm nearly here. I've nearly done it, Witch. Are you happy for me?
What?
I pried the gun apart. Isn't that good?
Oh, no. No, thank you.
Well, it's been done. Now I have to pry apart the central piece to mount the wire. Things are looking up. Now I need to rotate this bit around on the wire there. Okay, then I need to pry this bit apart. This section might be more difficult than... Oh, well, nope. Now it's coming apart. Alright. Maybe not. Yeah. There's a massive seam line down the center of the gun, which, you know, it could be worse. Hello, Cool Beans 18. How's it going? I am... So, I don't know if the new kid in town, Cool Beans, knows what I'm currently doing, my current gimmick. This is As the Engineer Intends. You see this? This is all I get. No manual except these pictures. Any official, like, any picture that's out there, I can use it, except for the pictures that are, like, of the manual telling me how to build it. Because this is As the Engineer Intends, and I'm an engineer, so however I intend to build it is always correct. This is the first master grade I have ever built As the Engineer Intends, and I've made a couple mistakes that I've had to go back and fix. Notably, I've had to take apart the entire big gun here, the thing that makes the Gunner Zaku a Gunner Zaku. And now I'm putting it all back together, and then once that's done, I will have the entire backpack complete, and in further streams, I will be able to move on to, we'll say, more difficult parts of the kit. Because the nice thing about the gun here is that all of its parts were contained on easy-to-find runners, and they were very easy to locate on said runners. So this was the easy part of the build, but it's a crucial part of the build to allow me to kind of figure out, I don't know the word I'm looking for here, kind of get adjusted to building a master grade As the Engineer Intends. Which, can you go take a look at what that @ is all about? And,
Yeah.
is it good news? Is it bad news?
It's questions.
Okay. Are they directed at me, or are they directed...
Yes.
Okay. Is it a question that we can speak about in front of a general audience?
Maybe?
Okay. I just have to look at it myself. Was someone testing something? Okay, you might have to explain this to them, but I gave Shin the admin role because he wasn't able to, like, get himself to talk on stream without push-to-talk shenanigans, and the only way I was able to get him unmuted was to give him the admin privilege and then take it away from him once he left the call. So that was me, and that was to get it so he could speak to me on this call. So that was intended, and I unremoved him because I intended to do that.
The engineer intended to do that.
The engineer intended to do that. Alright, so at the end of the night, at the end of the build session here, the gun is complete. I can plug this straight into the backpack. Once that's eventually built, I can put it in the hands of the Gunner Zaku. Things will be great. Everything folds up. The arm can sort of fold back into a standby kind of position. It's cool. I like this. I like the design of the Zaku Warrior a lot. The Master Grade here takes many liberties with the original base design, and I love the base design, so I don't like this nearly as much. However, the kit will probably be fine going forward. I see promise and potential in being able to build this kit as the engineer intends. So, thank you very much, everyone who came out here. If somebody has a Actually, I'm not going to figure that out because I probably have to go before my boss and tell him why I screwed things up. So, thank y'all for coming out. Yeah, just prostrate myself before the king. But I'm going to sign off here. I hope y'all have a good night. Thank you for coming out. And follow your heart. Build as you intend. You don't necessarily need to be tied to what is said in the manual. Experiment for yourself and you may discover new ways of building.